with AI basically coming at you in waves. It was a bit more static than the overall mission was not exactly planned, but what the briefing might convey. But initially, it was kind of my idea for you to basically fight your way, drawing as much of that defensive line as you could to basically create a big opening and move forward within the enemy territory. Once you arrive at the first town, like that's where I kind of understood the extent of VCOM AI in urban area. They were like very, very, very dangerous. I'm very happy the way they behaved. But yeah, we'll see after the AAR if there was any issue on your side as well for how the mission went, your equipment, the enemy forces, if that was too much, if there was not enough.
It just felt like the AI was really aggressive. They came at us, and at the time we had to clear the objectives, there was nothing left, basically, it felt like.
Yes. Yeah, that is definitely something I noted.
Yeah, it was good and it was bad. Like, there were some very impressive moments, particularly that urban combat, or even just kind of sitting back in the trench position, thinking we can plan, and then having a guy sneak up to us. Stuff like that was good. But I think partly a problem on my side of having that motorized vehicle, and really I was too slow with it and probably too cautious, but at the same time I think if I hadn't been, we would have lost it very quickly, considering the times we did push up. So basically I kind of took a much more passive role and said, well, we're here, we have flyer superiority in these positions, so I'm just going to sit here and let them come to us.
Yeah. No, I completely understand the way you did things. It was also a test for me with using vehicles, seeing how you could cover a large area with light skin vehicles like these. Okay, so everybody's on the map. I don't know how is it for you, but for me it's incredibly laggy at this point.
A bit, yeah. It's not advancing right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna fast forward.
Okay, the bar is moving now.
At this point, there was a briefing. Okay, that's you pulling up to your first OP. Oh yeah, it's incredibly laggy. What the fuck? Is that because there's a lot of AI on the terrain?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and this time I didn't use headless client, and I think that helped the AI being that aggressive. When headless client are happening, the AI refused to move.
Joined your channel.
It's just very odd. So at that point, you can see basically what triggered all the AI. They all started to move towards your position. That first fight for you getting on top of the hill, that was very good. I really appreciate that fight. I don't know how it felt on the ground, but the fact that things were moving around you and basically moving in your direction led to an interesting firefight.
Yeah, it was cool because they were trying to move sides.
Yeah, they were trying to basically envelop you. Who is disconnecting, reconnecting all the time?
Bolt.
Bolt, you have an issue with your microphone?
He's not in the lobby currently. There he is.
Okay. Bolt, you have an issue with your microphone?
Left your channel.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say yes. So yeah, and then you became very static on top of that hill. I tried to contain as many AI as I could within Kura as well, because they were all very keen on
User joined your channel.
On basically
User left your channel.
This is getting annoying.
Yes.
User joined your channel. User left your channel.
So yeah, at that point also reinforcement from Izala, the town to the north, started moving in with the technicals.
User joined your channel.
Bolt, yeah, are you okay?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Yeah, I'll take that as a no as well. So yeah, there was a kind of a large amount of AI moving in your direction that
User
you,
left
you
your
couldn't
channel.
really move out of your hilltop. I'd say you might
User
have
joined your
picked a
channel.
better-ish position.
I think the forest right in front of us.
Yeah,
We
the
could have
forest right in
moved
front
there.
of you was rendering things very difficult.
No, but I think we could have moved there.
In the forest itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my issue is the map, like the amount of low-level bushes and like low trees. Like going up on top of the hill, I just felt like everywhere I looked was just obstructed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think personally, hilltops on this map just fuck you over. You better have taken the low ground and shooting upwards.
Yeah, here you can see the AI kind of buzzing completely in activity as you approached. And yeah, anyone who basically broke off from the group got wiped, like instantly. They usually move in pairs
User left your channel.
and they flank you a
User
lot.
joined your channel.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, man!
Here's channel password to 1, 2, 3,
Please
4
stop
quickly.
leaving the channel.
So yeah, that was very and the mortar also. When the mortar saw Akron's team, he started opening up at very close range.
Oh, okay.
I was surprised that mortar was actually in that town.
Yeah, it was
User in your
basically
channel
at the center of
timed out.
town. Oh,
That's Piddock.
User left your channel.
no, it's Dick who disconnected.
No, but Piddock timed out.
And Piddock timed out. Okay. Is the AAR breaking for everyone?
No. I mean, wait.
No.
I mean, it's running for me.
Okay.
We are moving. The resupply is moving.
Yeah, the resupply is moving. I'm going to fast forward a tiny bit. Here we go. And the fight for Izala. Fight for Izala was easy in the first part, where basically you dealt with most of the contacts from afar, even the reinforcements. Moving in Izala, I had to basically spawn a fire team inside the compound because you had cleared the entirety of the compound. I didn't want the compound to be
User
completely
joined your
empty
channel.
as you approached. So I spawned like just a 4-man team in there for you to clear up. And at that point, what happened is that all the AI planned for the bridge started kind of moving in the forest, and that's who you fought basically in the forest.
Right, okay.
So it was less a deliberate ambush on my part and more groups of infantry that basically came through, like from various position to start ambush you. And it led to a very interesting fight. I did really enjoy that fight in the forest. At least from my side. I don't know how it fell on the ground, but I know it was fairly tense on the ground.
It was tense, it was good. I didn't like that we took that fight there. I don't know. Vehicles, I'll talk about it at the end, but the vehicles were weird for me today.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that. Initially, when I designed this mission, my first thought was to use a boxer instead.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of light skin vehicle, I wanted to use a boxer. Here, I noticed that the AI was getting really, really close, and I didn't want that firefight to last too long at your position. So I basically moved them back a tiny bit and made them approach you in the forest. And that's where the difficult firefight happened. Like basically, Akron's team walked straight in the middle of it, like in that kind of U-shaped form that the enemy was creating. You walked straight in on top of that. Plus, all the reinforcements, instead of taking both route, they took only your side.
Yeah, and so what we were hearing was the SPG trying to suppress.
Yes, the SPG that was far, far, far away started like suppressing you from really far, and it was firing through like so many terrain that there was no way you could hit you. but he's still fine. Like, yeah, on that side, I'm still not convinced fully by VCon. I think me losing that much control over the AI, yes, in some cases they might be very impressive, but overall, I'm not happy with their level of aggression, nearly that they are putting up. The fact that they're leaving their area, even when I asked them specifically to not leave the area,
User joined your channel.
create like really weird situations where I have to spawn more than I want just because, well, the objective is empty by the time you get there. Just like Akian pointed out.
You can look at the bridge currently. There's nothing there basically.
No. They've emptied everything. The only thing that are still ready for the bridge are the reinforcements that were meant for the
User
bridge.
left
So
your
I had to
user joined your
spawn
channel.
basically new groups to make like the firefight at the bridge happen. And even at the bridge, the firefight was not. There was not a very large firefight. I had to respawn that group that was holding that little estate there that you fought earlier on. Then yeah, you took out the technical very quickly, and then the two groups moved in.
I like the little building skirmish we had over there. Quick little firefight.
I'm still happy with VCOM the way they use vehicles. Although they tend to charge their vehicle and not dismount. Even with with a full back truck of troops, they just charge towards you and they try to dismount on you.
Yeah, I don't think any AI mod solves that problem, unfortunately.
No. And VCOM supposedly has a setting to solve that. Basically, they have a kind of a hard setting. They should be dismounting at 200 meters away from you, but they don't. They simply don't. I've tried to increase or decrease that value, and they just don't. They want to roll you over with their vehicle. Yeah, that surprise technical is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Okay, there I had to make new group of AI back in town, and yeah, at that point you can see you hold that small kind of crossroad building there. Pydock and Bolt like holding the northern flank, so the two of them starting to take RPGs from the north. And yeah, at that point, I don't know why, but the supply hub was meant to be a couple of trucks and an ammo trucks. All the AI in town started taking the vehicles and driving towards you instead of fighting you.
Yeah, it was.
So that was just weird. I was not really happy with that. And then yeah, it's basically the last firefight where you just approach what is kind of an empty city at this point.
Joined your channel.
Yeah, it's basically like really firefight's nearly over.
User joined your channel.
Like as you approach, yeah, still quite a lot of AI within that first compound, but the rest of the town was completely empty. So I had to make like new squad come in to make sure that there was still a decent firefight happening. But it tends to like artificially lengthen some of the firefights, which I don't like.
User joined your channel.
And yeah, at that point, a few last AI.
User joined your channel.
And we're good.
User left your channel. User joined
Okay.
your channel. User left your channel. Disconnected.